This is my Audi A3.
And today we're upgrading the clutch to be able to support 550 brake horsepower.
Somehow I don't think I was supposed to do that.
Now you can expect some ups and you can expect some downs in this video. But nevertheless, if you're not already, remember, click subscribe so you never miss an upload on the channel.
Pendulum mount, let's go in. I was a bit worried about this. So I say, without further ado, let's get this started. Get the gearbox back in and I will show you guys the process from start to finish.
First step that we need to do is get the old clutch and pressure plate off of the old flywheel. Now to do this, there is actually 6 9mm 12-point bolts holding the pressure plate with the clutch in place. So once I'd figured this out, I went onto Amazon and bought a 9mm 12-point socket. This then allowed me to get the bolts out from the pressure plate and remove the pressure plate with the clutch inside. Now this is one of the things that makes these jobs expensive, is having to buy these extra little tools that you just, it's one of those that you're going to use once. But nevertheless, we paid about £2–3 for this off Amazon and we've only used it once.
So, as you can see, got the clutch out. Now we just got to get the flywheel out. I might leave that to another day.
So, as I just said, it is now another day. The power of editing is immense, I know. But nevertheless, we can get the flywheel bolts cracked off and then we can go ahead and get it removed.
So what I've got to do is jam this tyre lever in the flywheel and then I can get the breaker bar on the bolts to undo them, and that seems to be working. So let me go ahead and get all of these cracked off and then we can get them out and get the flywheel off. So, got them all cracked off, finally. Now, let's get them loosened and get the flywheel off. Well, that was heavy. Might have just dropped the flywheel. But oh well, not the end of the world. Now we need to get that little disc out. And then we can see the snapped bolt in here. I've just got to figure out how on earth you get that out.
Now, if you guys want some context for this snapped bolt, go ahead and watch my previous video where I did indeed snap this bolt.
Just like that, it's out. So I didn't actually do research for that, but I used my brain a little, got 24mm on an extension, put it in there, and now we can indeed see where the snapped bolt is, which is going to be an absolute lifesaver to get that out. What? That's the f***ing drill.
Now, yes, you guys are seeing that correctly. We got the bolt out. This was literally make or break. If we didn't manage to get this bolt out by drilling it out, it would literally be engine out and stripped down. So, as you can see from the videos, I was ecstatic. Oh. Honestly, I don't think I've ever been so happy to get a bolt out of my car, ever.
So the drill was
And if that isn't enough to make you subscribe, then I don't know what is. Now that we've got that absolutely horrendous snapped bolt out of the balance shaft, we can now go ahead and clean up the flywheel. So what I've seen online is people spray it down with brake cleaner, get all the dust off, and then they go ahead and use an orbital sander to simply just sand down the top surface. And I mean, this seems to bring it up clean enough. So without further ado, let's go ahead and sand it down with the orbital sander with some 240 grit sanding discs.
So, as you guys can see, the flywheel looks a damn sight better. I've also got the bolts sitting in some white spirit because I need to clean the threads, and then when I put them back in I need to use Loctite on them. But flywheel already looks 10 times better. There is still some high and low spots, and obviously there's burn marks just due to the way that I drive, but I think that is a success. Also, the reason we're reusing this is because there is literally the tiniest bit of play and no side-to-side knock. People say to replace them if you've got more than 5 teeth worth of play. So yeah, hopefully onwards and upwards from here. As you would have just seen in some of the previous clips, we did manage to get the snapped bolt out. Thank goodness, honestly. After getting that out, I celebrated last night and I deserved it. Well, to be fair, my dad deserved it. Big ups to my dad for helping. But next is getting all of this back on and hopefully we're on the road to recovery. So, I hope it's not too windy, but the idea that I've got a jack there, and I'm going to put the flywheel on here, slowly jack it up, get the bolts in. I need to tighten them to 60 newton meters plus 90 degrees, which is 44 foot-pounds plus 90 degrees. Flywheel, as you can see, nicely reconditioned at home. Cleaned up the back plate, bent that bit back into place with a vise. But I say we just go for it. Get it done.
Yes, my idea worked for once, which I was actually astounded by. It worked a lot better than I thought, to be completely honest. And as you can see, we did in fact manage to get the flywheel in the end. We did have a bit of an issue torquing the bolts up, but it's nothing that we can't overcome. So let's carry on getting the flywheel in, torquing the bolts up to 44 foot-pounds or 60 newton meters plus 90 degrees.
So, it is now Tuesday and I'm about to re-torque all these bolts because last time I did it I never ended up torquing them. So I'm going to get on with that, and in the next clip you will see me fitting the clutch. So, I've got them all torqued up. I cannot manage to get that 90 degrees on them, but as you can see, that one there should be lining up with that, that should be lining up with that, blah blah blah, so on so on, the whole way around. But personally, I don't want to run the risk of rounding them, so we're going to leave it at that. They've got Loctite on them, we should be sound. But now let's get the clutch out and get that fitted. We've also got a clutch alignment tool which looks like this. So the idea of this is that gets one of these bits on, like so. Not sure which bit I need. That then goes into the flywheel, and then one of those bits go on there, and then the clutch sits on there. And hopefully, all being well, that should keep the clutch in place.
Once I'd figured out how to use this clutch alignment tool, it was a blessing in disguise. Honestly, for the sake of £15, guys, go and grab yourselves one off Amazon. It came in about 2 days and it was the best tool I think I could have had for this job. As you will see, it worked an absolute treat. And originally I was going to use a socket extension with a bit of tape on it, so for the sake of £15, I highly recommend it.
So, as you can see, that is what clutch alignment tool does. Keeps it hang on in the middle. Not a very comfortable position, but got there in the end. Now we just got to torque them up to 20 Newton meters. I'm just going to figure out what that is in foot-pounds. Oh, that's my brake bar. And then, hopefully, that clutch alignment tool just slides out of there. And then that looks pretty damn central, if you ask me. That is a job well done. Oh. So, new clutch installed. They're all torqued up to 13 foot-pounds, which is 20 Newton meters. Next on the list of things to do, we've got gearbox to get back on, but before we do that, we have a new release bearing. So that will probably be the next clips, putting the release bearing on. I'm hoping on Saturday I'm going to get my mate down here and we're going to get the gearbox back on. I need to fit the slave cylinder first. I'm hoping to do that on Friday, and then we can get the then we can get the gearbox fitted again on Saturday. Video out for Sunday. Fingers crossed. If not, I'll figure something out. But yeah, I will probably see you guys when it is either Thursday, Friday or Saturday. So you join me once again on a Saturday with the cavalry. Today is the day that we're praying gearbox is going to go back in. I've given it a bit of a clean up, as you can see, just with white spirit and a rag, and I also need to bend that shifter selector back because getting it out I bent in, but I'm going to do that once the gearbox is on the car. Next, I need to get, I'm falling over. Next, I need to get the release bearing out and replace it with the new one. So, let's get on with that.
Now it's probably a good time to remind you guys, if you're not already, please remember to click subscribe. It means the world to me. The amount that we have grown this channel in the past couple of months is amazing, and I could not be prouder of myself and the community that we are building around this channel. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you guys do know anybody that is interested in cars the same as you guys are, please don't hesitate to send it to them. Share it on your socials, repost it on your story, or even show your family. Sit down with your family and let me know in the comments down below if you guys are regular viewers of the channel.
gonna talk them to spec. That is a job well done. As you can see, new release bearing all installed. Old one's down here. I mean, to be fair, it's not actually like horrendous. It's not even that bad, to be honest.
But it's plastic though.
But it is plastic, so. And people just recommend upgrading these as you go. But now, don't know why he's so excited.
Because it's not my car.
This was what I was mentioning that was bent earlier. It's the gear selector. So I think I'm going to just disassemble that once the gearbox is in, bend that bit back, etc, etc. You get what I mean. So now you join us around the front. The gearbox is here, I promise. We're not just doing this for the video. But we've got it round on the flatbed trailer thing. But I'm going to put the gearbox or transmission mount in here so that when we jack it up, we've got ease of access to bolt it straight in. Okay, I'm going to do my best to record, but bear with, this isn't going to be fun.
Now, I must admit, we managed to get this gearbox in 40 minutes on a driveway on axle stands with 2 jacks and 2 men. Tell me how that's possible, please. I honestly thought this job was going to take a hell of a lot longer than it did, as, I mean, taking it out took pretty much all day with 3 people. So being able to get this gearbox in 40 minutes was, honestly, it shocked me. But watch and you will see the process that we took in order to get the gearbox back in. It was a lot of back and forth, a lot of looking up and down, sideways, left, right, in, out, you name it, we tried it. But in the end, we got there, and I could not be happier with how easy this gearbox went in.
Right, I've changed the angle, and hopefully you're going to be able to see this better, but I mean, hang on, I have an idea. Okay, so I've moved the camera angle, and I hope you guys can actually see what's going on, but I hope you appreciate that. It's quite hard to film, but we're nearly there. So, I was going to say, as you can see, there's the gearbox, that's where it's going. We're almost there. It's resting on the clutch and also the subframe mount at the minute. But hopefully, just jack it up, tilt it more that way, and hopefully we will be successful.
Stop jinxing us, please.
That is the gearbox in. Surprisingly, it wasn't too bad. There's the flywheel in the gearbox. We've got 2 bolts in underneath, the ones that are on that side coming this way, and we've got 1 bolt up here that's in. Now we need to get the transmission mount on, but to do that we need to jack that whole lot up so it can sit nicely. But nevertheless,
Yeah,
job well done.
it's actually surprising.
40 minutes.
Very surprising.
40-minute job.
Hardest part's done.
Facts.
It's just now we got to.
And we've got to hope it works.
first stage, just rip it into first and second wash.
Yeah, not half bad that. Quickest gearbox in job, reckon?
I reckon in, yes.
Especially on the driveway.
No, who needs a lift? When you got
You got 2 axle stands, 2 jacks.
I was in
one of them.
stand underneath. I was holding it like that. You were holding it from the top. You don't need anyone. What's on?
But yeah,
We're against the gearbox and chassis,
Now that the gearbox is finally in, after a whopping 40 minutes, well, call it an hour with the accessory parts, but gearbox is in. Now we can go ahead and finalise the job by getting the gearbox mount or the transmission mount connected to the gearbox and the chassis of the car.
now we can finally do the honours. Release the jack. That's it.
Done.
Absolute magic. Gearbox back in. Could have done a better job cleaning it up, couldn't I? Oh well. Be alright. Yeah, not half bad. About an hour's job. I say this, as you can see, is quite bent. So that needs some attention. But nevertheless, gearbox in. So, as if by magic, I just used that to bend that back into place, and surprisingly it's worked very well. Don't know how, but nevertheless that is a job well done. I'm gonna reconnect the clutch bleeder block back up, and then go around and torque all of the gearbox bolts back up. I've got one more to go in, which is this one, which is on the back of the gearbox near the drive shaft. Got the pendulum mount to go in. I was a bit worried about this bit going in there because there's a lot of dirt. There we go. Easy peasy. That is going in like an absolute dream. That then goes in there. He says. That one going first. And then that one should go in there. Let me tighten this one up. Drop that.
So as the video comes to an end, guys, if you guys have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Share it with your friends and family. And if you haven't, make sure you go and check out all my old videos so you can always stay updated on the build process of my Audi A3.
Be careful, you guys, if you're ever doing this job, you don't lose these little clips. Great design, but that just slips over the end of there, holding it in place.
It's mad the whole.
So, gosh, that's bright. As you can see, gear linkage all connected up now. Yeah. Gosh, that's really bright. But nevertheless, I think that's a job well done. I don't actually know what's next, but I'll have a think. I'll sit down, have a cup of coffee, and I'll have a think. And I'll get back to you guys. That does just about bring me to the end of this video. If you guys have enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down below, and let me know if you guys have ever done this job quicker than 40 minutes. Stay tuned. Next Sunday at 6 PM will be the next upload on the channel. But for now, it's a goodbye, and I will see you next Sunday.